How do peeps? Welcome to another episode of Talking Paranormal with the Old Man, and I am the Old Man. As you can tell from last week's live broadcast, I fired up the old computer, the one that I replaced, and got some of the MP3 files off. And you can see something's a little different. I'm trying my hand at editing. It could be a train wreck, or it might be okay. I don't know. Right now, I spent about a half an hour trying to figure this shit out. So far, so good. I use what the hell the program called? Audacity. I use Audacity, and so far, so good. I have the intro in. We'll see if this works at the end when I try to put the end intro or the end part of it in. We'll see. So, like I said last week, and it's really hard. I'm having the sunlight's coming right in my eyeballs through the office here. It's cold as hell outside. According to my phone, it is 10 degrees. We're heading towards a heat wave actually. Supposed to be up to I think 20s this week and maybe 30s on Friday. Woo woo! That's a heat wave for us. So, like I said, this is our 30th anniversary of doing investigations. Let me put my chair up here. I have a Detroit Tiger chair. It was our son's, but it's ours now. This year is our 30th anniversary. So I would like, I think it'll be fun to do a compare from when we first started back in 1996 to the paranormal ghost hunting field, if you will, today. So I think it could be interesting. Then I'm gonna poke fun at the establishment, and I'm using air quotes, the establishment, because some of the terms that is rampantly used today did not exist 30 years ago. Just it did not, and people made up shit, and for terms, and some I agree with, some I don't agree with, because it doesn't make freaking sense. So again, I'm going to poke fun at the quote quote establishment that people think know what they're doing. And as you know, if you listen to any of my podcast, I don't give a shit about what people think. If you like me, great. If you don't like me, don't care. I really don't. I'm not for everybody. I am brutally honest. I tell you how it is. And if you don't like it, tough shit. So, with that being said, let's go back to the beginning. When we first started, it was, I don't know what month it actually was, but it was 1996. That much I do know for a fact. We had done, previously we had done investigations, ourselves, but not as a group. Me and my cousin Mark, rest in peace, Mark, we would go to graveyards, and that's all we could do back then, But we went to, we went to graveyards, got our ghost hunting fix, if you will, and that's what that was before the group was even a group. And then after the group was a group, obviously we took off. Even after our group was a group, and I have said this before. That sun's right in my eyeballs. I even got shades up too. It's right in my eyeballs. So I can't see out of my right eye, but that's okay. So when we first started, it's like what I have said before, is being in a paranormal investigation team. Okay, and if you are starting out, most places they want you to give you a chance to have like business or house investigations. Well, when you first start out, you have no cred, no credibility, no anything, no following or anything. So you kind of have to start out from scratch. And it's like, it's like I think I've said one of the early podcasts that I have recorded is it's having, being a new ghost hunting group and being an experienced hunting group where you can do houses and businesses, whatever. You have to have that experience. And I like to use the example as a credit card. Generally, you can't get a credit card unless you have experience, but they won't give you a credit card unless you have credit, generally. So it's kind of like a catch-22 thing, and that's how it was with us when we first started. Yeah, we were a group, but we didn't have any experience in like houses, cleaning houses that we have now after all these years. So when we first started, there were three, you can count them on one hand, three groups in the state of Michigan. And basically it was us. The other one was a chick named Lucy, and hers was the Michigan Ghost Hunters Society. And the third one, I don't remember. I don't know. It could have been Jim's Paranormal, as far as I know. I do not remember. But I know it was us and the Michigan Ghost Hunters Society. And the third one, like I said, I don't know who the hell it was. So there was three. Now we are the only ones left of that three. And yeah, business has slowed down. And by business I mean, houses, shit like that. Because there's too many groups out there. And like I said, when we first started, after we were on the TV show A Haunting, holy crap, we got investigations coming out of our ears. We were literally doing them every other weekend, and sometimes they were backed up. They were waiting for us to investigate them 2 or 3 months up the road in advance. That's how busy that we were when we first started, and we've done hundreds of investigations, houses and businesses. But to be honest with you, I still like a good graveyard. I really do. It's just graveyard after dark, especially if it's a known haunted graveyard. Hell yeah, I would take that over a house any day of the week. But that's just my personal belief. So now I just did a Google, and it says, and this is off of AI overview, which I think, oh shit, what is Google's AI? Gemini. I think it's called Gemini. Anyway, Gemini, I do believe, it says that there are to be an estimated between 60 and 70 active paranormal investigation teams in Michigan, reflecting the growing popularity of ghost hunting as a hobby and a research project. It says, obviously the number of teams have increased significantly due to the popularity of reality TV shows. Well, no shit. That's, kind of hard to figure out. But okay, so activity. Teams focus, I don't want to get ahead of myself. Teams focus on documenting alleged paranormal activity, with many offering free services. If it's not free, find someone who does do free services, to homeowners and businesses, with some larger groups may operate as LLCs. But see, the only thing with this, okay, we learned as we went. Okay, we didn't have Zach Bagan or any of those other idiots telling me how to investigate. Okay, what was right, what was wrong, what is right, what is wrong, how to do this, how to do that. We made our own. I don't know how to say this. I guess we established our own way of doing investigations. I had read when we first started out. Yeah, I wanted to know how other people did it, so I watched, TV shows. I did this, I read books, and some people or some teams had you like break up. Let's say that we're doing a house, and we have 10 people. Let's make let's make it, yeah, 10 people. So let's say that we have two groups of five, and one group will be not confined, assigned would be a better term. Assigned on the first floor. The second team of five would be assigned to the basement. Or if you don't have a basement and you have upstairs, then the first floor, then the other team upstairs. Then after like 45 minutes, you switch. Well, we tried that for a couple of investigations. It didn't work for us. It did not work for us. The thing was that if all the activity was going on upstairs, and you're assigned to the basement for 45 minutes to an hour, you're missing out on all the good stuff. And I'm tall. I'm 6'4". So if I have to be in a basement where I have to be hunched over, or I'm going to be hitting my head on every pipe down there, my back's going to get sore after a while. I'm old, okay? So like I said, we tried that for a couple of episodes. Yeah, okay, for a couple of investigations, and it just did not work for us. It did not work for us. So we decided the best way to do our investigations is when we get there, and we're going to be doing this in Randolph County, and in July, and we are going back to Bath in May. I'm going to send out the email here in a couple of weeks, so we have that coming up too. Then we're going to Tombstone in a couple of weeks, Arizona. So we get to a place, let's say a house. We don't bring in our equipment yet, but we do have usually a tape recorder, EMF meter to get base readings, and a temperature meter to get base readings also. And you might be saying, what the hell is a base reading? Well, a base reading is we go from room to room getting a tour from the homeowner, or if it's a business owner. And we'll take readings for EMF and temperature. So that way when we're doing the investigation, if we get spikes in the EMF or the temperature is off, we can go back to our base readings to say, okay, well, we were getting an EMF of 0, but then the air conditioner kicked in, and or it must be a power box somewhere, because as soon as the AC kicked in, the EMF spiked up to up to 10. Okay, and so then we can go back to our base readings to figure out what the normal, air quote, readings are. And then we'll go back out, grab our equipment, and a lot of our team members have their own equipment too, so it's not like it's just our equipment. A lot of them have their own, and they, pick some up here and there. And then we basically spread out. We go wherever we feel like we want to go. If, one of our team members, she felt, something in the basement over by the game room, she might take some of her equipment and head over there. If one of the other team members, he felt something upstairs in the kids' bedroom, he might start the investigation up there. But the point is that we are free to roam wherever we want to roam, plain and simple. And that seems to work best for us. And I even had a team member tell me years ago that how we do things would not work for other groups, and I totally agree. And we haven't changed yet. We have not went back to assigning people, so it works for us. But what I was going to get to too is where it says that the number of teams, has increased significantly due to the popularity of TV shows. But the problem with that is if you don't have the experience, if you haven't figured this out yet, the TV shows are paranormal entertainment. paranormal entertainment. They're for your entertainment. Have you seen any of these TV shows? As if you have, let me know. I'll watch it. Have you seen any of these freaking TV shows? And I'm talking Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters, all the other freaking ones out there. Have you seen one episode where they help the homeowner cleanse the house? I haven't. Have you had any of those groups tell the homeowner who's haunting their location? I haven't. Have you seen any of these people help cross over spirits or spirits that are in this house? I haven't. They're for entertainment. They're for production. You get Zach and his idiots down in the freaking basement of some house with all these banks of monitors, banks of equipment. All they're doing is entertainment, dudes. It's enter-freaking-tainment. I have not seen him once say, hey guys, we can help you cross this person over. Because they can't. It's for entertainment purposes. So people watching these shows, oh, damn, Jimmy, let's start our own group because this looks easy. All we need is an EMF meter, a K2 meter, a tape recorder, and a cheap-ass camera. That's all we need. And we're going to get shit. Well, the problem is if you somehow, let's say your Auntie Julie played with Ouija boards, in her house growing up. Now there's something in the house. You go, because it's easy, you've seen it on TV. Excuse me. I'm getting emotional here about Auntie Julie. Excuse me. So, anyways, she, you go to Auntie Julie's house, doing what you see on TV, and you make it 10 times worse than what it is, because you don't know what the hell you're doing. And I'm not saying that we know entirely what we are doing, but after 30 years, I think we're doing pretty good. We've helped people clean their houses, with spirits. We've helped them coexist with spirits if they didn't want us to clear the house for them. So yeah, so just because you see a TV show, you have the equipment, and you see these people doing investigations, don't mean that you can. So that's what has changed since when we first started. The other thing that has changed from the OG days, there was no freaking YouTube. There was no social media. Obviously no Facebook. There wasn't any of those things. Now you go on YouTube and you look under YouTube. I'm looking for something else here. Let's see. Okay, yeah, there's not. I'm just looking at. I have it brought up here. Paranormal groups. What? There's actually an association? What the hell is that shit? Since when? And then they have created a paranormal think tank? Okay, no disrespect, but groups, from our experiences, paranormal groups don't share shit with other paranormal groups. It's almost like they put it in a freaking safe with a combination with two different doors you have to get to that combination safe. They don't share nothing from my experiences. They do not. Maybe it's just me not wanting to share. I don't know. But ooh, what's this? Michigan Ghost Hunter Society with Brad McCullough. Hey, that's me. Let me see what it says. Oh, this was our presentation 2 years ago in Oxford. Was it Oxford? Oxford. Oh, and they want us back again this year. So now we have Oxford on the 27th and Lake Orion Library on the 29th. So that's just a plug for us. So yeah, so you didn't have these YouTube people like I won't, yeah, hell with it, like twin paranormal, which is twins. Okay, I don't like that channel. There's not too many channels that I like because it's a production. Even on YouTube, it's a production. They have the intros and the sponsors and the fancy editing and the graphics and everything. It's entertainment. And 90% of these freaking people, I won't watch because they jump at every freaking noise. And I have said this before. If you're in this field, paranormal, ghost hunting, whatever you want to call it, and I understand. I know that there are going to be people listening to this and say, dude, that's what sells, man. I realize that. But it's not reality. It is not reality. Jumping at every, and the amount of activity that they have is unreal. It's not real. I can guarantee, case in point, we went to Villisca, and I have said this before, we went to Villisca, Iowa, I don't know how many years ago now it was, for a overnight private investigation in the axe murder house, Villisca, Iowa. Drove 12 hours. We were in the house 12 hours. Didn't get a goddamn thing. Not even an EVP. Not even a freaking bug in the house that could be a spirit orb. We didn't get nothing. But Zach Bagans and Ghost Adventures are in that house for literally 10 minutes, and they already had an EVP in the kitchen and said, I did it. So again, it's entertainment. And I can pretty much guarantee you when we go to Randolph County Asylum, and I said asylum, not Salem. Good job, dude. Proud of myself. In July, I can pretty much guarantee you we will not see in the 16 hours that we're going to be in this asylum by ourselves, that we are going to see any type of level of activity that these YouTubers want you to believe is normal. It's not normal. Trust me, after 30 years, and we've been to a lot of places, people. We have been, oh God, Lizzie Borden's house, and this is either investigating or been to. Lizzie Borden's house, the prison in Ohio, Trinway in Ohio, Waverly Hills a couple of times, a museum in Texas that we did an investigation at, the Queen Mary, Alcatraz, Sarah Winchester House. We've been overseas. We've been to the Pierre Lachaise graveyard in Paris, which we did have an experience in, EVP, and that's on our Facebook page. And we've done hundreds of houses, hundreds of businesses, and we have never in 30 years seen the type of activity in one night that these people will get. It's entertainment. And the sad thing is that people think that this is the expectation. It's not the expectation. That is paranormal activity. It's paranormal activity, but it's paranormal entertainment. It's for your entertainment. So yeah, it's not real. The activity level is not real. It's not what you can expect. And I had said this before, that when we were down to the prison in Mansfield, Ohio one year, they come on the porch and they always say, you know, the do's and the don'ts, can't do this, there's a working prison behind us, please don't take pictures, they pisses them off, you know, blah blah blah. And he actually said this. He said, he goes, I'm sure you all have seen that Ghost Hunters Academy show, where I guess that you could send in your application and they would train you on how to be a paranormal investigator. They said that they were there for a whole week, and they got, in that whole week, 12 minutes of video evidence. So do the math. A whole week, they got 12 minutes of evidence. So he said, if you come in here expecting things to happen immediately, it's not going to happen. And I think that's what is bad for paranormal investigators, ghost hunters, whatever you want to call this, I don't care. That you see these TV shows and you think, oh shit, I can go to this place, activity's going to be off the freaking charts. Let's do this. And we have seen people in our group come and go. You know, we have our core people, obviously. You know, I can count on two hands how many of our members are our core. They've been here for a long time. We're friends with them. We've gone to their weddings. You know, their sons or daughters' weddings. I know our daughter got married a couple of years ago. We had some of our team members, you know, come to ours or hers. So we have become like one big, happy family. But people, and then we had people join. They went on one investigation, didn't see nothing. Oh, I'm done, and lost interest. You can't do that. You can't lose interest. It is a long-term proposition to be a ghost hunter, paranormal investigator, whatever. And when we first started, there was names that people would call us. Kooks, freaks, weirdos, strange. Well, they still call it to us now, to our faces, those same names, but it's affectionately now. Oh, you're one of those freaky ghost hunters? Tell me some of your best, best. So yeah, so it's the public outlook on ghost hunters, paranormal investigators has changed over 30 years. And one other thing too is that kind of like gets up my craw. A lot of stuff gets up my craw if you can't already, guess that already. I'm very opinionated. Is these places that will have exclusive agreements with other ghost hunters. Like, we investigated the Holiday Hotel twice. At their request, okay? We brought a reporter with us both times, gave them free publicity, and we tried to go back there a couple years ago to shoot for a possible TV show, and they wouldn't let us because we have an exclusive agreement with someone else. Well, whatever. But the problem is these people that you have your agreements with, they only have like 2 or 3 years experience. And you want me to pay to go to the, case in point, the Whitney. I will never step foot in the Whitney restaurant, hotel, whatever the hell it's called in Detroit, because they have an exclusive agreement with some hack group. Okay, I don't know who they are, but I'm sure they're a hack group. So they want me to pay $110 a person to have dinner there, and then have their group show me how to use the EMF meter and take me on an investigation of the Whitney after hours. Okay, how in the hell am I going to do this? Someone that has obviously less experience than I do show me how to use the EMF meter and show me how to do an investigation? To quote a line from the TV show back in the 90s, In Living Color, homie, don't play that game. No. The wife wants to. No, I'm never setting foot in the Whitney just because of that. I'm not paying to have some group that, like I said, and it's not jealousy. It's not jealousy. I'm not jealous. I'm happy for them. Whoever the group is, I'm happy for them. But I'm damned if I'm going to go there and have some team wet behind the ears show me how to do an investigation. I don't think so. Not going to happen. So those are the two main differences from when we started to now. And just a recap would be, basically there's more groups, and then obviously social media, YouTube. When we started, Ghost Adventures and Ghost Hunters weren't even a freaking TV show yet. They weren't even on TV yet, guys. So that's just how long it has been. And some of the things that have changed is the terminology. Okay? So I'm going to spend the last 10, 15 minutes on the terminology. Okay, when we first started, we had EVPs. That was it. You had EVPs, a good one or a bad one. That was it. Now, what the hell is this shit? Grade or Class A EVP? What the hell is that? That's a term that Zach Bagans created, and now every other freaking paranormal investigator, wannabe paranormal investigator, everything is now that. Oh, we actually came across someone. We were doing an investigation, and the business owner, he goes, "Oh, I have a Class A EVP." I almost wanted to just walk out of the freaking room, to be honest with you. because now it's everyone. We didn't have Class A EVPs. We just had EVPs. And it's like one of the biggest things you do not do, and we don't do this on our investigations, but I have seen it done by these so-called experts on YouTube that has a paranormal channel on YouTube. They whisper during an investigation. Why do you do that? If you whisper like this during an investigation, you don't know if that's an EVP from a spirit or an EVP from Bob who decided to whisper during an investigation. That's like one of the first things you are taught, or you don't whisper during investigations when you are recording EVPs. It makes your job 10 times harder. But you see it on YouTube. All these people, they're like, yeah, I think I heard a noise over there. Okay, or would you prefer to hear, I think I heard a noise over there? And what we do is that if we're doing an EVP session, if someone coughs, okay guys, at 12:02, that was me coughing, or that was so-and-so clearing their throat, or that was so-and-so, they moved in their chair and it made a creaking sound. So when we're playing back our EVPs, we don't have to worry about whether or not we got actual EVP or someone else making the noise. And that's one of my pet peeves. I'll be watching one of these reaction videos of Keprasite. We watch him quite often, or Nuke's Top 5, whatever. And it drives the wife nuts because we'll be sitting there watching it and they'll be doing an investigation. I just heard a noise over there. I'm like, dude, don't whisper. Don't freaking whisper. So that's one other stuff. So grade A EVP. That did not exist back in the day. The other one that was made, I don't want to say famous because he's not famous, but he lives in Las Vegas. He's possessed every episode of his show. It's something like Ghost Adventures or something like that. That was sarcasm. I was laying it on really thick. It's debunked. I hate that word, debunked. What the hell is that? Debunked. I know what it means. But again, when we first started, it was we would disapprove something, or we would prove it not to be paranormal. We didn't go around saying, "Oh," and put a big stamp on our freaking on our video. This was debunked by us. Screw you, man. I mean, if you use it, hey, your choice. And again, anything that I say here is my own personal choice. I'm not making fun of anyone that uses it. I'm not making fun of anyone that created it. It's just I don't like using that word. So again, my opinion, and my opinion only, does not reflect the group's or anyone else's but mine. But I absolutely hate that word, debunked. Debunk this, Zach. Okay, I said his name. Debunk this, Zach. Okay. Then the other things too is EVP. Okay, since we're on the subject of EVP, electronic voice phenomena. I know what EVP is, but how does electronic voice phenomena even start to describe? And now this is a part of the podcast where I kind of like make fun of the establishment, because it's not electronic voice phenomena. It's just something that was recorded on a recording device that generally cannot be heard during the investigation. It's not usually until after, unless you have, I do actually have an EVP watch, which is kind of cool. It has, I think, a 8 gig internal memory. It comes with a pair of headphones, and you do hear EVP live as it happens, so you can communicate. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. It's pretty damn cool. But there has to be a different way to say electronic voice phenomena, because it's not electronic voice. You've heard electronic voices, like back on the old Twilight Zone TV show, the original Twilight Zone. take one step to the left, one step to the right. There's actually Gilligan's Island when they have that robot. And sometimes they call it, instead of robot, robot. What the hell is a robot? But anyways, I'm getting off track. So that to me, that hello, come to me, you are dead, yes, you. To me, that is electronic voice. That sounds like an electronic voice. Okay? When you have EBPs, EBPs, when we were in St. Joseph Hospital in Lorain, Ohio, we did an overnight private investigation a few years ago. We actually got on the psych ward. We got a child's voice recorded, which I heard on my EBP watch. But it was a child's voice. It wasn't an electronic voice. It was a child's voice. We experienced just our experiences ourselves. As a group, we have recorded a childlike voice, a male voice, and a female voice. So it's not a electronic voice. And if there was some, like, you know, licensing and regulatory organization that oversaw ghost hunters, I would be writing a strongly worded letter requesting that they change the name of EBP. To what? I have no idea. I don't get paid enough to figure that shit out. But I would definitely not have EBP. Maybe it'd be like unknown voice phenomena. See, that sounds pretty good right there. Or, yeah, unseen voice phenomena. So there'd be what? UVP. Or not even phenomena. UVR. Unknown voice recording. I'm writing this shit down. I'm writing this down. And I am writing it down. URV. Unknown voice recording. UVR. See, I even messed myself up in my excitement. It's not URV. It is UVR. Unknown voice recording. Bingo! Or if you even want to get even deeper than that, you could do unknown. Nah, because usually it's usually, I was going to say it could be sound, like unknown sound. But yeah, okay, even that, okay, EVP, okay, electronic voice phenomena. And I'm going off the rails here, but I don't care. EVP, electronic voice phenomena. They cluster everything under that. If they hear a door slamming, that's an EVP. Well, it is not an EVP. It's not a voice, it's a sound. So technically, we should have two. And, you know, there should be two. There should be unknown voice recording and unknown sound recording. Because I've seen that on these YouTube channels where there'll be like movement, and those, you know, and to me, it's not movement. It's something being moved. It's not like footsteps or knocking. It's a sound, and they say movement. No, it's not movement. It was a sound of something. It'll say footsteps. There's unseen movement, and there's footsteps. That's not movement. That's some dude walking, some spirit or a team member of yours walking. So yeah, I seriously, this might get going. This might get traction. Unknown voice recording and unknown sound recorded. Oh yeah, dude, seriously. Let me write that down. Recorded and recording. I think I'm onto something here. That is going to be universally used here pretty soon. Unknown. I should probably get a copyright on that. Unknown voice recording or unknown sound recording. Bingo, bingo. I'm done. Damn. If it was only that easy. So, anyways, a lot of this stuff I'm teasing. I'm making fun of. Not to be taken seriously as usual. I have my opinion. I'm very opinionated, as you can tell. So we have added some new equipment for Randolph County. I did add one more REM pod, so now we have two REM pods. I ordered a new, well, it's already here, a new tape recorder, because our other one was older. And I did, this came Friday, a new thermal imaging camera. Now we have one already. We have a thermal imaging camera already. This is a thermal imaging camera that takes video. And ours didn't do that before. It's a 3.5-inch LCD screen, and I tested it out Friday, actually Saturday, because I allowed it to warm up a little bit. And it worked pretty well. You can take pictures and video with it. Now the other one, our older one, we could take video, or I'm sorry, pictures. It was kind of cumbersome how you had to do it. So if you had to do it really quickly, you're pretty much screwed, because by the time that you've not fondled, fiddled. Once you fiddled with the damn buttons to get it to take a picture, whatever you're trying to take a picture is probably gone already. And it would, on the negative side, it would not take video. So that was cool too. So yeah, so we have that for Randolph County Asylum. I did on our Facebook page, Southeast Michigan Ghost Hunter Society. I did post or create an event for that. We have 8 openings. We can take 14 and we have 6. So we have 8 openings for that, and we are going to still get that 36-foot string of LED lights. We are going to, like I said, Tombstone in a couple of weeks. Going to do a ghost hunt of the the Birdcage Theater. We're going to go to Boot Hill Graveyard, and there's a Tombstone Cemetery. There's two different, one's a graveyard, one's a cemetery. Supposedly, and I'm going to ask the questions when we get over there. Supposedly, the Clanton brothers, I'm sorry, one of the Clantons and 2 of the brothers that were killed at the OK Corral shootout are buried there, along with other people. So there's like over 200. I think there was over 200. Let me ask, how many people are buried? Of course, I'm not going to tell me. I got to type the whole thing out at Boot Hill Graveyard. Okay, cemetery, graveyard. I hope it's the same thing, because there is one in Dodge City too. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay, yeah, okay, cool. The most famous Boot Hill Graveyard in Tombstone, Arizona contains, well, it's the only freaking Boot Hill Graveyard in Tombstone, Arizona, contains approximately 250 to over 300 known graves. Established in 1879, it served as the city's cemetery until 1884, which I think then that's when they did the Tombstone Cemetery, which is like about a mile away from there, with many burials representing individuals who died from violent causes, such as the famous Oak Corral gunfights, Billy Clanton and the McLaury brothers, I believe is what it is. Cause of death records indicates 52 deaths by gunshots, oh no shit, knives or blunt instruments, along with others from hangings, disease, and accidents. The most famous is Billy Clanton, Frank McLaury, I think that's how you say the last name, Tom McLaury, and Dan Dowd. I know that Billy and Frank and Tom, and maybe Dan too, but like I said, they were part of the OK Corral victims that were killed there, with Wyatt Earp and the other ones. I don't know. I don't really know too much about that, even though I should. So anyways, I think that's enough for me rambling on. Again, I'm going to try to edit my usual ending on this. If you hear it at the end, you know I was successful. If I didn't hear it, I failed miserably. So I'm trying to get more editing skills here, because I'm still doing 2 reaction video YouTube channels, which I'm going to be starting here probably pretty soon. One's going to be music, and I know this is off paranormal, but I'm promoting my other adventures. It's called Musical Chairs, and it's going to be a music, strictly music. I like a whole bunch of music. I have stories about concerts I went to. I have met many bands and famous people in the music industry. I got stories, like I said. So, and my influence was country, but I listened to everything from country, but the old country. I don't like the new country, and anything from there to pop to rock to heavy metal. Yeah. So that's coming, and then I also have one to keep the same brand as this podcast. It's called Talking Paranormal, the Old Man, but it's going to be reacting to paranormal videos, giving you my brutally honest opinion on some of these obviously fake videos. But yeah, so that's coming. I'm off this week. I'm off Friday. The wife will be working in the home office on her side of the house. So I think I'm going to try to do some video. I'm going to do like an intro. I'm going to do an intro to my two videos. What to expect, and those will be posted up on YouTube, hopefully by this upcoming weekend. And I'm going to try to get the wife here again. She wanted to know if I wanted her to do it today with me too, but I'm like, nah, this is gonna be just me having fun. So this upcoming Sunday, a week from today, probably will not go live. I am going to try to go live in Tombstone, hopefully, if I can figure it out. And I will definitely, if I can figure it out, go live, have some live podcasts in Tombstone, preferably from Boot Hill Graveyard or the Birdcage. That would be cool too. I'm taking our 4K video camera. I'm taking our full spectrum video camera. I'm taking our GoPro cameras. I'm taking a whole bunch of stuff to video evidence. Then when we go down to Randolph County, we're taking the whole enchilada. We're taking our new equipment. We're taking our static cameras, our DVR, our TV monitors, everything that we have. So that's gonna be cool. So again, I'm rambling on. So I got some editing to do here to try to figure out how the hell to put the editing thing on. But otherwise, I do have the first of the first music on there, so that's cool. That to me, I had to do 2 channels or some bull crap like that. To me, that's a major milestone for me. So after I'm through here, I'm gonna go out and try to start the car. She hasn't been started for like 3 weeks because she's a Challenger and I don't drive her in the snow. And we've had snow on the ground for like a month now. So I've been driving the Jeep, and Rosie, the car, is covered up in the driveway, don't have a garage. So I'm gonna go out and see if she'll start. But I did buy I know this, you don't give a shit about this, but I bought a battery tender for her that's gonna be here tomorrow. Which, if you don't know, a battery tender, it puts a small 1 amp charge on your battery. So if it sits for a while, it will not drain. It will always be charged, and it has a built-in overcharge. So as soon as it's charged, it turns off. So that's coming tomorrow. So hopefully I go out today and she starts. So anyways, again, I'm rambling, so I will let you all go. Thanks for listening. Hopefully this upcoming Sunday, the wife will be here. Well, she wanted to be here today, but I told her I can take care of this myself today. So we'll see what the topic is this upcoming week, because I don't know. Actually, if you go to our Facebook page, I'll put something on there. I'll put something on there about what you can expect as being incoming for this upcoming week. So, anyways, again, thanks for listening. Channel is looking good. I was off for a couple months just because of the holidays and stuff. Well, I'm back. So, anyways, again, thanks for listening. Share this if you have a friend that likes paranormal or shares the same view that I do about everything, paranormal. I would appreciate it. And again, you have to be more afraid of the living than you do of the dead. And if I can get the editing done here, hopefully you'll hear the sound of the ending. But if not, again, thanks for listening. And until next week, bye-bye.